And I've put a ton of stuff in all of these properties too about Forbes Park, because there's a lot of good things about it. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I'd say there's very few of them that have this many amenities for that price. All righty. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. This is episode 69. If you're watching on Facebook, yes, we are live right now with this episode. And I am delighted and glad to be talking land here with Kristy. Kristy, welcome back to the show. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. Thank
I know
God it's Friday, right?
I know, right? Last time we were talking about your building project.
Yeah.
And you guys had like a fire out there not too long ago.
Yeah. So they burn, and it's the dry season right now. So they burn to, re-fertilize the ground. So I get it, but then they just don't control them. And the guy who was down the street and did it picked the windiest day of the year, and the wind just, so it ended up going about 5 lots down. It was nowhere near us, thank goodness. But yeah, that was an exciting, it was what, 3 weeks ago now. It was an exciting time. It was smoke and fire and everything, but apparently once it starts raining again, everything comes back and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm excited to see it.
Well, it'll be it was nice. You didn't really have to worry about your house, right? I mean, you guys are just putting up the walls, so it wasn't like you had to worry about the house burning down. It's
No.
All the beautiful foliage around, right? Would have stunk.
But it's interesting because it's so jungly that the grass burns because it's very dry. It hasn't rained now in 2 months at all, like not a drop in about 2 months. So the grass is all completely dead. So that's what they burn. So it sort of goes through, but the trees aren't really affected at all.
Huh.
Just does the grass. It was very interesting, very different than I was thinking. We saw it, and I was thinking of like the California wildfires, and I was like, oh, the whole city's gonna go up, and we're all gonna die. It's like, but no, I kind of wondered, everybody there was pretty chilled about it. They were like, yeah, it's on fire. And we were like, it's on fire.
They're like,
it's a big slow burn, and it just does the grass. And I guess they've been doing it for centuries to replenish the soil.
Well, like that's a lot better than like Oregon or parts of Colorado where we've had property where it's like the world's burning down.
Yes.
Everything's ending.
Exactly. I was thinking of not the Forbes Park we're going to talk about today, but our other Forbes Park, like Colorado, we have those burnt. I'm thinking that, this mass scale, trees burnt. No, it was nothing like that. Thank goodness. So
awesome. Well, I'm so glad to hear you're safe, most importantly, and that it's not stopping the building project, and all things are go forward. So awesome. Yep. So today, we talked about here with Generation Family Properties. First, to anyone who might possibly be listening from overseas, we've had a lot of friends in Ukraine that we've heard from. So our thoughts and hearts go out to any friends, family, people out there going through horrible stuff. And it's been so interesting in this environment. We found last month, as this whole stuff went down, land has never been more popular than it has lately. And as many people want a hideaway spot and something to get away from, my wife's talked about, let's build a bunker on one of these properties in Minnesota, and we'll have some place we can run to in case.
She's a smart lady. You should listen.
I know. I've seriously started considering it.
Yeah.
And
up on your dried goods and build a bunker.
Seriously. Yeah. Enough for like 2 or 3 or 4 years or something.
Yep.
So I know we're thinking about that. And it's definitely a concerning time. I'm just really curious, Kristy, before we talk about our new area and new stuff going on, what are you hearing from the market? What are you hearing from our buyers? Because you're the front lines talking to all these people. What are you hearing from folks right now?
I want out of the city, and I say, I don't blame you. Yeah. but seriously, it's huge. That's what it, as you said, last month was insane. February was insane. everybody just, and maybe they don't want to get out now, but they want to back up. Maybe another COVID type situation comes around, and instead of being stuck in their apartment for 3 months, maybe they say, I'm going to go out to my property and breathe fresh air and be away from people. Or they just want out permanently. They want something for the future. That's what I keep hearing over and over and over. I think this is all of this last 2 years has made everybody pretty uneasy with the world. So it's nice to know you have a place to go and just hide away.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. And it's been an interesting environment on our end, as being the providers of land for people. And because of that, we're expanding into new states, and we're trying some new stuff to see if we can find newer, better, different kinds of properties for our clients across the country. If you're looking for land, we have a couple of sister companies, Family Freedom Lands, that Kristy also helps out, where we have properties in Nevada. We're trying to get into California, as well as, of course, Arizona and Colorado. And with Generation Family Properties, which is the primary one that hosts this podcast, my baby, that's now 5 years old, and it's not a baby anymore. It's going to kindergarten this year. And so Generation Family Properties, we're really trying to get into still Colorado, New Mexico, Oregon, and we're expanding into of course, Minnesota, my home state. We've had more properties there. And now we're getting into Missouri, which is where we're talking about today, Benton County, Missouri. Kristy, do you want me to allow you to share your screen so you can talk about what we got going on?
Sure.
All right, you're the host. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay. You tell me if you can you see that?
Not yet.
Okay, let's see. Let me move this.
So we are live here while Kristy's figuring out the technology. There we go.
I just had to push the button. Shocking. Okay. So we have 4 in this area, but this one, it was my favorite when I was looking at the website listings. And then after reading the photographer report, it was his favorite too. So I think I have good taste. And hopefully you can see this, but this is why we have a water view. Everybody wants a water view. So this property is super cool because it's wooded. Actually, all of them in this area are wooded. It's the middle of winter, of course, so it doesn't look as beautiful as it would in the spring and summer, but you can see that there's tons of trees. And this is, let me pull up you can see just how close you are to the river.
Let's take a look at the map here.
Yeah, so I have zoomed in now. So here's the property here on Moira Road, which there is power on that road too.
Why don't we zoom out a little bit so we can see? Look at that water. It's this big river, lake. I mean, it's just like a worm or a snake, the way it curves around.
Water everywhere on that one. And this one is about 2.5 hours from Kansas City and about 3.5 hours from St. Louis.
Why don't we zoom out a little bit? So if someone's not familiar with Missouri, let's kind of take a look here.
There we go.
So for those of you that are listening and not watching this, if you're listening to the podcast comes out in a couple of weeks, what you'll see in Missouri, the very southern part of Missouri is Branson, and Kansas City is kind of to the northwest part of the state, not the corner of it. This property is kind of between Branson and Kansas City. So St. Louis is to the east, Kansas City is to the west, Branson is to the south, and in the middle of National Forest, as we look here on the map, you can see Mark Twain. National Forest is to the southeast. So if you're not familiar with Missouri and the Midwest and you're listening to this, Missouri to the west is Kansas, south is Arkansas, to the east is Illinois, north Iowa. And
this property is pretty close to dead center of the state. Maybe a little south of center, but very close to the center in the forests.
It is, absolutely. All right. So I just wanted to walk people through Missouri because this is the first time we've been in this state, really. So we're getting familiar with it. And we're excited about these properties because they're by all those rivers and lakes and all that kind of stuff you got there. So please, Kristy, go right ahead.
Exactly. Okay. So this one, let me go back to this one. Okay. So again, my favorite view of the lake there, or the river, I guess. The other thing that's super cool for me about this property is, yes, there's a landowners association, but before you write it off completely because of that, you have to see what this one offers. This isn't a typical, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, and we offer you nothing. This one, I think, probably has the most of any that I've seen. Maybe, Dave, you've seen other landowners associations that offer more, but this is a good one. So you can go, it's got 3 lakes, the river. You can, it doesn't allow motorized boats, but you can have a trolling motor for fishing and just, relaxing, which is really cool. They have campsites, so it's only $10 a night. You can camp. So you cannot, the downside to this is you can't camp on the property, but you can camp at the designated camping area, which is cool because they have showers, bathrooms, tennis courts, electricity, barbecue sites, all of that. So you can go from your property to the actual camping area and have amenities there, which is really cool. If you have an RV, you can use it there and then spend the day at your property. Maybe you want to clear it out or do a driveway or just hang out, and then you can go to that for the night. So that's really cool. So this one offers quite a bit for your $170 a year, which is also not bad because we've had some that are quite a bit higher. So $170 a year, you get all of that, pretty good deal.
And they got, in this case, they got tennis courts and baseball courts and playgrounds, and it's a gated area. So, you have some degree of privacy that not just anyone could walk right in to the area here. So
let me switch back to the map really quick. I should have do this earlier. It's right at that turtle pond. I don't remember if you saw it, but it's right here. It's not far at all. So this particular property is here, and zoom right there, and that's where you can camp and basketball and have all of your stuff. So it's very cool. It'll be a very cool weekend place, very cool place to build. It's only 1,000 square foot minimum, so you don't have to build anything huge, just a nice weekend cabin and get the heck out of the city like everybody else.
Absolutely. What else? Anything else about the area that you really loved that we haven't addressed yet?
There were lots of state parks in the area, which was great. There's lakes. The Harry Truman Lake is there, which is a really big one. Lake of the Ozarks, beautiful lake, not far away at all. I think you might have pictures of that on yours. I don't have any pictures of that pulled up. But lots of that. I listed some more stuff up here. Oh, this was a cool one. I put it on here, and I normally don't because nothing like this is nearby. There's a water park, and it looks amazing. It's got slides and a lazy river and all of that stuff. So this is not one of our properties that's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's got stuff around it, wineries, but then it also has the nature. So it's a really good combination of both. You don't have to just do hiking. There's hiking, there's fishing, there's wine tasting, there's museums, there's bird watching, hunting. I kind of can't think of anything that isn't nearby.
No, I think there's all kinds of stuff. I'll share my screen real quick here. So what I pulled up, just so if folks wanted to check it out for themselves and read more beyond what you're hearing from us today, if you go to Warsaw, so if we look in the county here, the county is about this size. So you can see Warsaw's kind of in the middle of it all. And you could just see all of the fingers of the rivers and Lake of the Ozarks here. I mean, it just goes all throughout this whole county and into neighboring ones. And so Warsaw is the biggest city here in the county. So their Chamber of Commerce has all kinds of good stuff. They have a harbor. They have this swinging bridge. That's fun.
I like that. That's so cool.
A guy who was a self-taught engineer with a third grade education built it. How awesome is that?
That's amazing.
And they talked about they are very proud of their biking trails. We saw this all over the place there. And so biking is a big thing if you're a biker. You want to walk by the river? Well, obviously, there's a lot of river to walk by with what you got going on. And again, there's a bike park here that was created by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So again, biking a big thing. Again, bicycle tour. So bicyclers, this is like your haven. Kristy talked about the dam a bit and Truman Lake, and then there's a fish hatchery. So you can see all the different kinds of fish here. So they have 77 ponds, which have walleye, our favorite fish here in Minnesota, muskellunge, striped bass, catfish, hybrid catfish, fathead minnows, and golden shiners. So all kinds of good stuff. I'm not a fisherman, so some of you might know this better than I do. But there's fun stuff there. Disc golf. Doesn't like disc golf. It's fun stuff. Of course, regular golfing. And Kristy, this is for you. Berry Bend Equestrian Trails. Look at that. 37 miles for horseback riding. Amazing. 37 miles. To me, that sounds like a lot. You're a horse person. You tell me, is 37 miles a lot?
Yeah, that would take, that would take the whole day, or you'd be pretty sore after that. I wouldn't want to do 35 miles at once, I can tell you that.
And besides all the outdoor stuff, like Kristy said, there's pools, there's a water park, there's all kinds of stuff to do. So there is civilization nearby here. So you can have obviously your getaway. And where we're talking about is more over here in this area. So on the eastern part of the county is where our property is, but certainly you have the whole county to explore. So I just wanted to show that to everybody, so you have a good idea of what this county's about and what you can do here. What else, Kristy? What else can we say about the Show Me State? Anything that we're missing here we should let people know about?
Well, we have 4, and they're all, like you were saying, that's on the east side of that county. Funny enough, 2 of them that we have are in Camden County, and 2 of them are in Benton County. So they're literally right on the county line. Some have power, some don't. It's a good mix. Some are more flat, some have hills. So whatever you want, we probably have it.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah. And we have what terrain you want, and I'll give you the property.
We have more coming. We don't have really large acreage here in the properties that we have, meaning like over 10 acres, but all of them are at least 2, if I remember right, 2 to 7, somewhere in there.
And I think 6.4, 2.1 is the smallest, 6.4 is the largest, and then it's just a mix of in between.
Which, if I remember right, I think an acre is just a little shy of a football field. So yeah. If you remember right, like that's 2 acres is like 2 football fields, approximately. I might be a little bit off there, but 6 acres is probably like 5 football fields. I mean, just imagine having football field by football field by football field. Some people want like 100 acres, which is great to have. But if you're on a budget, these properties, I think we're going for what, 5,000 up to 10, somewhere in that range.
Exactly. They're very inexpensive. And just because you quote only have 6 acres, when you look around, it's just trees. Yeah. So you can pretend like you do have 100.
Well, it's not like this is some hugely developed area. There's very few people relatively here. So like you said, you could have 2 acres. It's probably going to feel like 100 because there's not many people around.
Exactly. Especially in the spring and summer when those leaves come back, you just hide away.
Right. Oh, in the fall.
For the whole summer, you don't have to leave.
All the changing colors. Can you imagine what the fall would be like?
I'm sure it's amazing.
Well, Kristy, any other thoughts? What are we looking for in our properties? Like you pulled up the one, like what's the down payment? What's the monthly payment that we're looking for?
So the down payment on all of these is $750, which includes the $249 document fee. So it's $249 doc fee, and then $501 goes in equity towards the property. And then they're $199 a month. So super affordable.
And certainly you could do more than that. You could do the cash price and get a discount relative to owner financing. And of course, we've had blogs and podcasts and all kinds of other stuff on the owner financing, which definitely look back to some of those episodes for that. And Kristy, if anyone is interested, how should they reach out to you?
So they can call or text me. My number is 971-248-6715. So you can always reach me that way, or of course, email sales@genfamland.com. And all that's on these website listings too. So it's genfamproperties.com, and all of our contact info's on there. Lots of the info people ask often too, and I'll scroll down here. I always tell people that this green and white chart has lots of information, lots of just the basic information, you know, size, county, restrictions, all of that stuff. So check that out. Yeah. And I've put a ton of stuff in all of these properties too about Forbes Park, because there's a lot of good things about it. It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I'd say there's very few of them that have this many amenities for that price.
Exactly.
We've had the Baca Grande POA in Crestone area, which I personally stayed at last summer, which was awesome. They have like a fire department, you know, and some other stuff. And so they charge more money than this does by far. And I think keeping up the roads in an area like this is so important, which a lot of what this goes towards, because the county isn't going to take care of it. So in this case, everyone's banded together as a property owner to help take care of the roads. So I think that's super cool too. All right, Kristy, what's your phone number one more time in case anyone's interested?
971-248-6715.
All right. Well, there you are, my friends. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us. If you have questions, if you have suggestions for, hey, you guys should talk about this, we would love to hear from you. We're going to be searching for some guests in this season as we continue to produce new content and put stuff out there. So let Kristy know, let me know what you're interested in, what you want to talk about, or maybe if you're interested in land in a particular state. Like I said, we are continuing to explore and get out there, whether it's Florida or hopefully we'll be getting into Texas at some point soon. Kristy's cheering for Texas.
Texas. I'll always say Texas is number one though, so ignore me.
And of course, we have more Minnesota stuff coming. We're going to look to get into Wisconsin, Michigan. So hopefully we'll have the whole country covered here in the next couple of years. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what time holds. In the meantime, my friends, remember to reach out anytime. You know, we are here to help hundreds, hopefully thousands of people just like you own land. Have any questions? Give us a holler. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.